Hi, welcome to step number 1. We're going to go into the carriers a little bit on this one, just so you understand who you're working with and the different product types. I know it can be a lot of information. It can be a little overwhelming, but don't let it be. This is the good stuff. So I'm not going to be able to teach you everything in this short video, but I want to give you enough so that you have a basic understanding of what this whole crazy thing is all about. All right. So first of all, the different types of products that we have. So mortgage protection is life insurance. It's a concept in life insurance. It's not a product of life insurance. Okay, so that's the first thing to remember. You can solve or protect somebody's mortgage, solve their problem with a term policy, or you can solve it with a final expense policy. Final expense is simply whole life for seniors. You can remember it that way. I say anybody probably over the age of about 60 to 65 is going to be a good candidate for final expense. Now, I'll get into the difference here a little bit. Term, think more bang for your buck. So when you're 20 or 30 years old and you have a mortgage of $400,000, it's pretty inexpensive to just get the whole mortgage paid off. Okay, as you age, that gets less and less practical. In your 60s and 70s, it gets really expensive to try and cover the whole mortgage. So the mortgage protection strategy changes from a full payoff to a payment protection strategy. Okay, so you're protecting that mortgage by allowing their spouse 6 months or a year and a half worth of mortgage payments so they can make decisions on the house. So this is a strategy that you're going to use a lot on your appointments because a lot of who we meet with are in their 60s or older. Okay, so the full payoff amount isn't very common in mortgage protection. But term, whole, universal life, final expense, even guaranteed issue are all products we use for mortgage protection. Again, it's a concept in life insurance. So don't let it confuse you. It's not its own product. Now that you know that, let me turn to the carrier cheat sheet. It's easy for me to say. The carrier cheat sheet shows a lot of what we're talking about here broken down. So can you see this? You can download it on the link, okay, in the notes here. The carrier cheat sheet shows you all the different products and what they do. Now, you don't have to memorize this, so don't be overwhelmed by it, but you do want to understand it. So the face amounts that are available, for example, if you're looking for somebody in a term or a whole life, you're going to see up here the Smart UL. These are the names of the product, and the type is over here. So if Forrester says your term or Advantage Plus, you don't really know what those are until you look over here and you can see it's term, it's whole life, it's universal, or whatever. So use this chart to understand the age that they're available, the face amounts that are available, the riders that are available. Okay, and here's the acronyms down below. And those riders, by the way, are only available up to certain ages. So if you see them grayed out, it's because they're too old to qualify for those riders. If they have living benefits, okay, you'll see that here. And then I've also put in some information, kind of my go-to for certain things. I like to use this carrier for this or for that. Okay, this is something you're just going to have to learn over time because it's a lot to take in right now. My best advice, especially early on, go to your manager. If you're one of my agents, go to me. Just use us during the appointment. Take a picture. We will help you know which one of these to recommend. So don't feel like you have to memorize this before you start running appointments. Now, from here, let me shift over. You're also going to see a link for the calculators. Okay, this is where you have access to all the calculators. And by the way, I do update this as we get new carriers and things. So for example, we'll go back into Forrester's. We're kind of picking on them today, but they're all the same. You're going to open it up. You're going to see a link to a calculator. You're going to see a link to an agent login. I'll talk about that in a second. If you want to call them, if you're on your phone, you can click that. And this case, they have a Plan Right hotline. I'm not going to go into it now, but you'll learn what that is. That's for a final expense product. GPM, same thing. You can click on here, go right into the calculator. Two that I want to call out, Mutual of Omaha, you'll notice the calculator is in the App Store. So you have to go to the App Store and download Quotes for Sales Professionals. Okay. And then CFG is the same thing. And there's the passwords that you're going to need, CFGSIT and CFGFE. There's 2 calculators. They do them separate for term and for final expense. Other than that, all the calculators are right here on the website. So let's assume you got through your presentation, you ran some calculations. And by the way, the calculator is also on the insurance toolkit. It's a different training. You can run quotes there, or you can run them individually here, whatever your preference. So let's assume that you get through a product or a presentation, you ran quotes and they like what they see and they want to enroll in something, okay? You need to, at that point, go to the agent login, and we're going to go to Foresters because we're picking on them today. You have to submit the application through the insurance carrier portal. When you do your contracting, each insurance company will send you a welcome email with instructions, a producer number, login information. Do not delete those. They're not spam. Those are really important emails. Save those one by one. Here's how I do mine. You're going to see at the top, Equus. Look at that. Makes it really easy. I've organized them. If I want to go to any carrier and write a product, I just click on it and it takes me to that screen you just saw a minute ago with login. So you don't want to be stuck on an application, on an appointment where they're wanting to write an application and you're fumbling around trying to get in. You want to be able to know how to get in, and this is how you do it. So let's say that we presented pricing for a Forester Strong Foundation. That's their term policy. It's a very common product we use for mortgage protection. It's non-medical, and you can get up to $500,000 on it. So they say, yes, it's a 36-year-old, he's getting $200,000 and maybe he's paying $40 a month, something like that. Great, it's approved, he likes it, let's go ahead with the application process. Here's what we do. You go to Foresters like I just showed you, you log in, okay, click right here on eApp. Every carrier, by the way, is different, but a lot of them use iPipeline. You see it went to an iPipeline background, which is a third-party system that a lot of carriers use to process applications. Start new case. So then I'm going to go here and I'm going to type in his name and information, but I'm going to do that later, not now. And term, and then we're going to find available products. Of course, put your state in here, and Strong Foundation. There it is, non-medical. So you would select here, and from here, it's going to start the application. So this is how you begin an application. You do it inside the carrier website. You have to have each of them bookmarked, and you have to know how to get on very quickly so that if a customer says yes, you can transition right into the application without any problem. Every carrier has their application in a different place, slightly different location. So when you get those carrier contracts and those welcome emails, take a little time, run some calculations on yourself or your spouse or somebody just to play around and start an application, or at least go through the process of beginning to access one. Don't submit it unless you're serious, but you can go in and you can start an application and then just cancel out before you submit it, just so you know where to go, how to select the products and all that stuff. You want to make sure you do that, work out those bugs ahead of time before your appointments, so that you know when you have an appointment on a person that's ready to write, you can go right into the application and get it submitted. Once submitted, you're going to go into your Equus dashboard. Hold on, let me share my screen again because I just need to show you this. Okay, so we're going to go back into the Equus dashboard, and right up here in the top corner, you see a button that says Submit New Application. This is where you report. So after you submit an application, then you go in here and we're going to find Foresters. It was a Strong Foundation policy. So Foresters Strong Foundation, simplified, today's date, and you're going to fill out the rest of this. You're going to click on Report E-Application because it's an electronic, and then down here at the bottom corner, Report E-App. Okay, that's very important to do after every application, because that's how Equus can track all of your progress, and they pay bonuses on these. So make sure you don't miss reporting your business. Okay, that gives you an overview for now of the carriers, the products, how to access an application. More good stuff to come. But if you have any questions, raise your hand. And the links, like I said, you can download to the reference material that I was talking about in this video. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.